Hi there, people. This is Pray Love, and I'm back. It's been a while, and I'm doing a top 10 video on the fragrance, in fact, that I probably will wear during spring. Now, it doesn't really look like spring here right now. In fact, it's just the usual, early spring, end of winter kind of rampage going on. Right now, it's still snowing like 2 days ago. 2 days ago it was snowing, and now it's not snowing anymore, but it should disappear at some point, and we could wear the spring fragrances once again. But and right now I also need to decide what fragrance I will wear today. I always wear a fragrance for my days. So anyway, let's keep it short because we've got 10 fragrances to review. So there's like categories, general categories, and one that's not really in any category. So it's a bit chaotic. I'm sorry, but it's okay. The first one I'm going to start with is this one. It's Prada Luna Rosa Carbon. So I've used it a lot, quite a lot since I got it in. It was a trade, and this one is pretty decent. Um, it's a fragrance that I used to wear. I used to wear that all the time several years ago, and now I'm falling back in love with that fragrance. And it's perfect for the spring because it's a year-round fragrance, but it's the best is spring because it doesn't have any distinctive winter fragrance element, nor really any distinctive summer fragrance elements. It's kind of a good fragrance to go for any kind of occasion. It's kind of a Dior Sauvage type of fragrance, but it's like if it was I like to call it like a Sprite vibe. It's got like that definite Sprite, um, you know, citrusy, fizzy quality to it. Easier to wear. It's a lavender bomb also. It's got a lot of lavender and it's very soothing, very nice. Nice for every occasion. Everyone kind of likes it. It's one of the fragrances I got the most complimented on, if anything. But yeah, let's keep it short for that fragrance. There's tons of video out there. Everyone likes that. It's cool. If you want a little twist on that fragrance, you can get this one, which is my second one for the spring. I think this one is a perfect spring fragrance. The added iris gives it a little more like a classy touch. Um, it's got kind of a mix of an old style, um, Eau Sauvage by Dior kind of vibe with the uh, very Idion like vibe with kind of a jasmine citrusy vibe going on there, but also it has like the Luna Rosa Carbon type approach and the Ambroxan, so it's a very nice fragrance. Elegant, but not too much. You can wear it in any situation too. It's called Ocean, but I think that the best time to wear it is probably during the spring because it's kind of a darker fragrance. It's not a playful beach type fragrance that much. And there's the classic Prada Iris from Prada L'Homme and Prada L'Homme L'Eau and everything. It's not as big of a deal as in Prada L'Homme, but it's still there and it's still wonderful in that fragrance. So after these fragrances, we've got the third one. It's Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir. So my cap has broken off and I don't have it anymore. It's okay though. I don't mind. This one is a more classy spring fragrance. It's very classy. In fact, it's very elegant. You can dress this up very easily. It's got vetiver as one of the notes. It's kind of a dreamy fragrance. It's not like you would expect, oh, it's a blue fragrance. Not quite. The blue is like a, yeah, it's a deep blue fragrance. It's not a Sauvage or Bleu de Chanel type fragrance. It's really much more of a vetiver, dreamy, atmospheric fragrance, and it's extremely nicely done. It has a lot of elements of classic men's fragrance, although I think it's decently unisex. It's just very classy. It smells incredibly nice. Go and check it out. Narciso Rodriguez Bleu Noir, and it has a dreamlike quality. Um, it's great for the rainy days, a rainy day fragrance, um, a melancholic fragrance, so to say. It's very nice. I like it a lot. And then afterwards, uh, there is I've got like a trio of white florals following up. This one, a great white floral citrus fragrance. I think I even prefer it in the summer, but this one is, a dry, not very sweet citrus fragrance with white flowers, like white florals in there. Uh, it smells very kind of elegant, but it's. I do agree with a lot of reviewers out there that it has a definite Miami Vice type vibe. I think Jeremy Fragrance said that too. I think it's the like originator of that thought, but I do agree with that. It's kind of a playful, very. It can be worn in super high heat situations, but I think it's pretty nice also in the spring. You can wear a full suit, like colorful suit. It's like colorful clothings, um, very energetic type vibe, but also old school, classic masculine. So it's very like not sweet at all. It's not a youthful fragrance, but it's a very sexy one, I think, in my opinion. And whenever I wear that, I'm like, oh yeah, it's nice. It's got neroli too. It's got everything you want for summer, but in spring, it's perfect too. Because of the dryness, because of like the harshness of the whole thing, it's pretty decent in spring also. So I really like white florals during spring. So this is like the white floral king, if you may say. It's L'Odyssée by Issey Miyake. L'Odyssée is, yeah, definitely probably one of the most, and it's like number five. There's no like order in the list. I've just like classified those fragrances, but this one is like the king of white florals. It's the white floral that started the whole hype around the white floral fragrances for men. It was definitely pretty ingenious because white florals are normally considered mostly for women. This one was for men. It's got woodsier element. It's all based around balance. I think the original has even more like yuzu and stuff. This one has a lotus flower. Um, and L'Odyssée pour femme is also a great fragrance. I would wear it any day also. Also a white floral with more yuzu, but this one woodier, drier, uh, very balanced, pretty sweet too. It's a like cloud of sweetness, pretty atmospheric too. I like the atmospheric fragrances for spring. It's like what's going on for summer where we're more in action. Spring is more like a calmer, for me, more soothing, nicer, calmer environment. And white florals, this is the thing, for spring. The last white floral I wanted to talk about was Versace the Dreamer. Just like L'Odyssée, it's a 90s fragrance. It's a white floral, but also has a bit of tobacco. It has a bit of a bubblegum, Le Male type vibe, but it doesn't smell like Le Male. In fact, there's pretty much nothing on the market that actually smell like Versace the Dreamer. It's oftentimes we would think that white florals Uh, they kind of like the longevity is not that great in general in white florals. This one will prove you that it's not always the case because this one is powerful, it projects a lot, and it lasts forever. It's a super super well done fragrance. I've got a new iteration. Some people really like only want to get the original, which was from the 90s, but I think that this one I bought it several years ago. I don't remember when, but it's still super powerful. It's still very unique, and it's got that bubblegummy, old school bubblegummy vibe, but also the white florals, a bit like l'Odyssée, but also it's got the tobacco leaf that just adds a bit of, it's the dreamer. It's a dream, but it's still got a punch. It's still got ambition. It's the dreamer that realizes his dreams. So this one, and it's got a cotton candy vibe, which people really like nowadays. It could be very popular nowadays because of Ariana Grande Cloud, which has a bubblegummy, which has a vibe with um, cotton candy vibe. That's that sort of thing. It's got that. It's less sweet, but still got that cotton candy kind of vibe. Um, Now I'm going to go into another category because it's 6. I'm not even keeping track at this point, but 7. I'm going to talk about Au Sauvage by Dior. So this one has nothing to do with Dior Sauvage, even though the name is kind of similar. This one is a Chypre. I think I for a long time it was more like a fougère, but anyway, it's Edion heavy, so it's jasmine and citrus heavy. It's a classic masculine vibe, James Bond type of vibe. It got out like I think it's 1966, and it's ravingly popular since then, and I think it's still very very good. It's still very classy. You can dress this up very easily. In it Yeah, and it smells addictive. When you smell it, you're like, oh, I just want to smell it more. It's because it's very Edion heavy, and Edion is kind of an addictive scent. And yeah, citrusy. It's citrusy, jasmine, lavender, masculine overall fragrance, old school masculine fragrance, which women can definitely wear too. But it's like the yeah, old school guy fragrance, Sean Connery style. So that fragrance, perfect, perfect for spring also because it's kind of deep for a summer fragrance. I would wear it in any time. I always wear any of my fragrances anytime, but it's kind of intense for the summer, but for spring, it's just perfect. Afterwards, another like classic fragrance, Cuba Gold. I don't know much about like the actual brand. This one is like an extreme cheap fragrance, which smells a lot like Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male. Um, People say it came before and that yeah, it's not actually inspired by Le Male. It's perhaps true, but if you want s- something that smells like Le Male but costs like $15, and I really say 15, not 50, it's like $15, and it actually lasts longer, and I think it even smells a bit better. I used to have Le Male, and now I have that, and I have a sample of Le Male, and I tried both, and I actually do think that Cuba Gold has got more grit, and it's the cheap factor actually makes it even better in my opinion for some reason. It's a very like easy to wear fragrance, any occasion, but in spring I think Le Male in spring is, there's something magical about it because there's humidity in the air from the rain and everything, the snow disappearing and stuff. And there's a humidity that just works well with that type of fragrance. The old school bubblegum fragrance like Le Male. I think Ultra Male would still be in that list. perhaps even Le Parfum. And yeah, do check it out. Le Mall for $15. Oh yeah, no, but it's not exactly like Le Mall, but I think it it's close to the Mall. Uh, with that bubblegummy minty and with cinnamon and the tonka super high on tonka. It's good. Now the last of the classic ones, number 9 on the list, Quorum, and Quorum is I think an all year rounder. I'm not afraid to wear that any day of my life. It's a ballsy fragrance, also a like $15 fragrance. Um, you can find it at retailer for $30. It's really like that cheap. And this fragrance, super powerful, long longevity, lasts for days. It's like it's very very powerful. It smells like an action hero from the 80s. It's an 80s fragrance. It's something that people wore a lot alongside Dracar Noir, alongside Azaro Purom, all those fragrances. That's exactly what you're getting. Oak moss, um, a lot of woods. It's like a deep forest, but it's also has like moss and it no sugar added. It's very rough, but also very classy. It's got like a classic, elegant style to it. Um, it's amazing. It's really really amazing. It packs a great punch. You don't need to spray a lot, and it costs almost nothing. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna do a video about like extreme cheapies that would make an awful great collection, but this is one of them. And the last one I'm wearing for spring. Sorry if the video is perhaps a bit long. Clean Reserve Skin. Okay, so um, this one is a very particular fragrance. Okay, it's kind of like a. I think most people that would like this fragrance would be women in general, would like to wear it. It's more of a traditionally female type fragrance, but I love it, and it's actually the scent I wore the day I met my wife. Um, so I really like to wear it. It's clean at Sephora, so it's like good ingredients, not tested on animals, vegan, etc., etc. So it's a very cool brand to check out in general, Clean Reserve and stuff like that. And they've got like very artistic, different kind of fragrances that still are absolutely wearable, that still are very easy to pull off. And this one actually smells very warm, very sugary. I've got a friend that told me that she didn't buy it because it smells too much of sex, and I actually said to her that's why I bought it. But the it's very, yeah, it's sensual. The name Skin has something like they really wanted to translate the like milky quality of skin with the sugary thing, and making it's kind of like there's Sécrétion Magnifique by anyway, Sécrétion Magnifique. This one is like horrible, and it's really disturbing and whatever. This one is like if you got an artistic interpretation of the smell that are going on during skin touching and whatever it is, like carnal activities. um but it's an amazing one, and I think it's pretty like said like this. It's like, okay, it's a super sexy fragrance that you only wear. No, it's like it's a pretty mature, kind of easy to wear anywhere fragrance. I think it's a safe fragrance. It's pretty sweet, and I've got tons of compliments with it. When I wear it, people are like, "Oh yeah, it's really cool," because they're not used to having smelled something like that. They're used to having smelled super sweet fragrances that are like, Cloud from Ariana Grande, or Pink Sugar, or Good Girl or whatever, and then they smell this one and it's like, oh, it's different. It's not as obnoxious. It's good, and so check it out. It's a great brand. All right, so this is it. The 20-minute video. Spread love and spray love. Bye bye.